Hi, this morning we're doing the problem number 2 of our set of 5 problems, and as I said before, we're doing the inflammatory diseases of the central nervous system. The first thing that I want to say it again is that go to this video. Can you point to this video? This is the code. You can type that in the YouTube window, this code, and then you will see the introduction, the theory of how we're solving all these 5 problems. Now we're in number 2, so I'm going to erase number 2 here, okay? So this is the one we're doing, number 2. Okay, now, what this video says is basically, this video introduction, I'm going to make like a quick recap, what it is. This is a person, right? And this is the brain, and this is the spinal cord, right? Now, this is a virus. If you can follow me here, this is a virus. This is the rubella virus that Stephanie has drawn. This is the rubella virus. Now, what happens here is we're going to have a representation of this virus here, right? This is the virus. What happens is that the virus comes here. Can you follow me here? The virus comes here, right? And attaches, gets into our central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord. Somehow, there's a virus, you see? So what happens when the virus get in? Then all this becomes inflamed. It becomes, you see? Because of the virus, all this is red now, right? So it's inflamed. It's sick. It has a disease. Those are the diseases that we are studying. So you have to keep in mind that there's a virus and there's an inflammation. Now, there are 3 ways to solve this problem or to code this problem. The first way is called a combination code, where you see the virus here and the infection here represented by just one code here. That's the previous problem that we have made, a combination code. Now, the second one is the dual one, which we call in the video, and it's when there's a code for the virus, which will go here, and a code for the infection that will go here. And the third way is, or the dual 2, is that first we code the infection, and then we code the virus, right? And we also explain in the video that you start by just working with the infection. How do you identify the infection? By the word itis, right? And what's itis? Itis means inflammation. Inflammation of a central nervous system. Now, there are 3 examples of inflammation here. This is the brain, and this is the spinal cord, the brain and the spinal cord, the brain and spinal cord. The first one is the inflammation of the meninges, which is the 3 membranes that go around the brain and the spinal cord, and you see that the meninges have been inflamed here because they're red. So this is meningitis, okay? Now, the second one is that the brain alone has been inflamed. The meninges is fine, but the brain has been inflamed. So this is encephalitis. And this one, in this case, the meninges and the brain is inflamed. So this one is encephalomeningitis, right? So we have these 3 cases. Now, the one that we're doing today is number 2, poliovirus encephalitis. Okay? So, the first step is to identify the infection. How do I identify the infection? By the itis. We go here to the problem and you say encephalitis. So that is our problem. That's the infection, encephalitis. So we go, if you follow me to the path here, the first step is we go to the index and we look for, or we go to encephalitis. Right now, it's because of a virus. So we have to go in or due to, and then we get to the virus, poliovirus. And then we get to this code, A80.9 and G05.3. That's what the book is telling us. Just from the index, you can see that it's a dual code. And since the A and B are the viruses, and the G is the nervous system, this is the dual case 1, where first is the virus and then is the infection. Okay, you can just tell all the viruses or the infectious diseases are A and B, and the nervous system is G. So this is the first dual code. First the virus, and then the infection. Okay, so once we've done that, Stephanie is going to find the code for poliovirus encephalitis while I hold the camera.
First, we go to encephalitis.
Encephalitis. The index encephalitis, so we go to the E, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Where is encephalitis?
Here.
Right here. And then?
We go all the way down to in due to.
In or due to.
In due to.
Because we're looking for the reason for the encephalitis, right?
Right.
And then?
Then we go way down to poliovirus.
Poliovirus right there. And what do we have?
We have A80.9 and G05.3.
Which is a dual code. And since the first one is the A, that means that's the virus. And the second one is the G, that's the infection, right? So we go to our table here. Which one is first the virus and then the infection? Is A, B, or C? First the virus, then the infection. First the virus and then the infection. Which is that? Is A, B, or C? First the virus and then the infection.
Oh, B.
B, right? So we write it there. What is our code?
Our code is A80.9.
That will be the virus.
A80.9.
And the infection.
The infection is G05.3.
Okay. There it is. That's a code. A80.9 and G05.3. Now we're going to have to check this with the tabular, right? So we go back to the tabular and we start by checking the infection because we're always working with the infection. So the code for the infection is G05. So what do we do?
We go to G05.
Mm-hmm.
And here is
right.
Encephalitis, myelitis, and encephalomyelitis.
Okay.
Diseases classified elsewhere.
So what we are worried about is encephalitis. And what is the instruction there that we get?
Code first underlying disease.
Code first underlying disease, or in our case, is the bug, the virus. So it says code first the virus, right? And the code that we got from an index, which one? The 3 or the 4?
3.
3. It's encephalitis and encephalomyelitis in diseases, right?
Right.
So that we're confirming that that's our second code because it says here code first underlying disease. Okay, so this one is confirmed. That is G05.3. Now we're going to find the code for the underlying disease, right?
Right.
And then what is the code for the underlying disease? A80.9, right? So let's look for A80.9 and see if that's the one for poliovirus, which is the one that we need. A80
is
acute poliomyelitis.
And we have all this list, and we go down to A80.9. Acute poliomyelitis unspecified.
Which is the poliovirus, right?
Right.
Now, it says myelitis. It doesn't say encephalitis. But remember that myelo is a spinal cord. And that's what explained at the beginning, that the brain and the spinal cord is the central nervous system. So when you say myelitis, you're implying that it's the central nervous system, which could also be the brain. And since this is the code that we have in the index, we're just checking. So this must be our code.
A80.9.
A80.9. Why is not the other codes? Because we have 2, 4, 6 coded. The first one is not because we don't see vaccine in the text, right? Can you point to the first one? It says vaccine in the. Can you point where it says vaccine?
It's here.
Here, point to the part where it says vaccine. Vaccine is not vaccine in the text. The second one says wild virus. It's not wild virus. The third one says wild virus also. It's not wild virus. The fourth one says, go down, other and unspecified. It doesn't say other. And other would mean that it's something else on the text, but it's nothing there. So keep going down. And the next one, it says paralytic. It's not paralytic, right? And the other one is other paralytic. And the next one would be paralytic also. Go down a little bit, paralytic. So the only choice is unspecified because it says poliomyelitis unspecified, which means that they don't give us more information. So that must be our code, the one and the last one, which is
A80.9.
So we go here, and it's that code, A80.9, right? So now the last step is that we're going to check with the book and see if that's our answer. And it's poliovirus encephalitis. And the answer is A80.9, which is the code for the virus, and G01.3, which is the code for the infection. Thank you.